What is going on? Don, how you doing, buddy? Carlos, Gallup or Cooper? Well, if Cooper's playing, I'm playing Cooper. It sounds like he's going to play. I'm firing him up if he's in there. Good, man. Glad you're doing well. Nice little Week 7 Sunday morning. Welcome to everybody out there. Start shooting your questions in here. Oh, yeah, you better knock on wood, Don. 6-0 is nice, though. Knox or Fells? Man, that one's tough. I'm not a big Dawson Knox guy. Obviously, they have a juicy matchup with Miami. Fells, though, has been super active in the red zone. The Colts funnel a lot to the center of the field, so I'd probably go with Darren Fells. I'd probably just go with the better offense. Don says, I assume Brandon Cooks over David Montgomery is the right call. Yes, I would definitely be playing Cooks. Obviously, they haven't had as much luck with the deep ball for LA so far, but this matchup's as juicy as you're going to get for Brandon Cooks. So David Montgomery's usage has been all over the place. I'm going with him. Shark or McLaurin in my flex. I'm playing DJ Shark. I don't want any bit of McLaurin this week against San Francisco. Pettis or Beasley. This one comes down to whether you need floor or ceiling, Tina. If you need a ceiling, if you feel like you're behind your opponent, then I go with Pettis. If you feel like you just need that safe floor, then I'm going with Beasley. Jason, how you doing, buddy? Dorsett or Metcalf? I'm playing Metcalf. I like both, though, but I would go Metcalf. It's very marginal, though. I like both of them. No problem, Robert. Lazard over Howard or Miles Sanders this week? That all depends. We got to wait on this word on MVS and Allison. If they're both out, then I think it's a definite yes. Lazard's a play, a premium play. If one of the two play, then it's a little more thin. But I could still make the case with those guys splitting. If both MVS and Allison play, then he's out. John, Joe Mixon, Brandon Cooks, or Hunter Henry, pick one. Standard scoring. If we're talking standard scoring, I'm probably going with Brandon Cooks and hoping for a couple deep bombs against Atlanta. Dorsett or Metcalf. I think we already did this one. Metcalf's the guy there. And then Eckler or Edmonds. I can't stress anything anymore, okay? Edmonds, it seems like he's getting a lot of work, but he's not. If DJ's in, then I'm not playing Edmonds. He only had 7 touches last week. He did find the end zone, which kind of masks the lack of touches that he's getting. I go with Eckler, who I feel like is going to be more involved and get more touches. Paul says I want to bash Nagy for not using Montgomery, but I don't know about bad coaching. FSU fan. Yeah, I don't even know what you're talking about with FSU, but Nagy's play calling has been very lackluster this year. Crypto, Eckler or Brandon Cooks, PPR. I think Brandon Cooks is a must start this week against Atlanta. There's not, other than the like real premium wide receiver options or running back options, I'm throwing Brandon Cooks in my lineup. It's just the matchup's so juicy. Pick 2 PPR. Need at least one of the running back. Eckler, Jamal Williams, Will Fuller, and Fitz. Okay, so this one is Eckler over Jamal Williams at running back. And then the Will Fuller Fitz part, it depends on, again, if you need the upside or the floor. Because Fitz is a safe pick. And it looks like Christian Kirk's going to be out, so his target should be safe. Will Fuller's more boom or bust, has a higher ceiling. So that's what it would come down to. If you feel like you're behind in the matchup, then I think Fuller's the guy. And if you feel like you're ahead and just need to maintain, Fitz is the guy. Just want to remind everybody, if you're over on YouTube, make sure you hit that like button, and that helps us out with the algorithm, and hit that subscribe button. We're only 2 subscribers away from 300, and every one of them helps. Tariq Cohen or Montgomery? Mike. Man, I'm a Bears fan, and this is frustrating. I think this is also a ceiling floor play. Tariq Cohen's got the higher ceiling just because he can bust a long one and get you a bunch of points in one. Montgomery's the safe play, so it would come down to floor versus ceiling again. How do you feel in your matchup? Do you feel like you're behind, or do you feel like you're ahead? If you're behind, Cohen. If you feel like you're ahead, Montgomery. Montgomery's going to get probably 15 carries. Probably going to have, an 8 to 10 point floor. Tariq Cohen's floor right now is 0. Gordon or Mixon in PPR? Half PPR. Man, Gordon has been miserable. Mixon has been miserable. But I probably lean Gordon just because their offense, there's more touchdown upside. He could find the end zone twice. Mixon does have a juicy matchup, but I think I'd go with Gordon there. Craig, how you doing, buddy? No, Crypto, I do agree with that offense, but the thing is, this game is going to shoot out. I think there's going to be plenty of fantasy production to go around for the Rams, so he could definitely break a long one. Jason, I do my best, buddy. I do my best. I should have ran in next year's campaign. It'll be the first year I'm eligible. Damn, you guys were ready to rock and roll this morning. Hopefully you guys save some questions for the rest of the show. All right, let me pull up. Yeah, I'd seen Josh Gordon ruled out. I like Dorsett anyway with him in there. And I'm afraid it might actually hurt Dorsett a little bit with Gordon out because, Jacoby Myers isn't going to command as much attention as Josh Gordon is. Josh Gordon's actually one of the best receivers this year at getting separation, so he commands a lot of attention. So I'm not sure if that helps or hurts. Oh, I can tell you that I'm not anything like the current VP from Indiana. Thoughts on Josh Oliver as a DFS play this week? I don't know that you have to go there. If I'm paying down at tight end, I can tell you that in DFS this week, most of my tight end ownership is the higher priced guys. And the lower tiered guys that I have are Josh Hill, just because the Saints have nobody to throw to, and he's only 2,600. And then Gerald Everett in that shootout game. I'm not gonna personally have any Josh Oliver. He's not in my player pool. I'm doing 150 lineups this week. Josh Allen or Matt Ryan? Matt Ryan. Josh Allen is dangerous because he could not have to throw it all. They could run in every touchdown today. He could throw a couple, but I would go Matt Ryan. 49ers D or Patriots D? Either or. Probably 49ers against Washington. How many leagues do I play in? I had 5 guillotine leagues, and I have 12 dynasty leagues. And then whatever I do in DFS, I have a DFS weekly league, and then whatever else I do. Yeah, I'm doing 150 lineups today in DFS. Let me make sure I didn't miss any questions here. Thomas asks, Edelman, Dorsett, Auden Tate, Diggs, A.J. Brown. 3 please and half PPR. Edelman, Dorsett. Diggs. Edelman, Dorsett, Diggs, probably. I do like A.J. Brown this week, but it's Tannehill. I don't know how much we trust him. I think it's an upgrade, passing-wise, but keyword had. I had 5 guillotines. I now have 2 guillotines. I thought I got a deal. I got Antonio Brown in the 3rd and 4th round in a few of them, and it ended up not being good at all. So thanks for throwing that out there, Paul. I appreciate you calling me out like that. Oh, I also have 5 best ball leagues, and I haven't even checked them, so I don't even know how I'm doing in those. Chris Carson or Derrick Henry? That is that PPR? I think it's easily Chris Carson either way. Baltimore's not as good as everybody thinks on defense. If it's PPR, it's definitely Carson, like 110%. Got Don singing a little DJ Shark to doot to doot doot. Or however that goes. I don't know. I don't have kids, so I don't have to listen to that. Patrick Mahomes could return to the Chiefs in less than 3 weeks. That's crazy. All right, let's see. What news do we have? Let me pull up Sleeper app here. Standard League, Chris Carson or Derrick Henry. I think I still go Chris Carson. I just like that offense better. Obviously, Derrick Henry's a threat to score 2 touchdowns any week, and then it messes everything up. But I think I go Chris Carson. He's gotten 22, 26, and 27 carries, I think, the last 3 weeks. Okay, David Johnson is expected to play. Christian Kirk is expected to miss. Saquon, Evan Ingram, Devin Singletary, Jalen Ramsey, Todd Gurley, and Tyron Smith are all expected to return this week. Is Winston going to be out of Tampa Bay after this year? If he doesn't stop turning the ball over, I think he will be. I thought this was the end of the line for him and Mariota if they didn't improve, and neither of them have improved. I mean, you can talk about yardage and everything you want, but when you turn the ball over as much as Winston does, you're going to be in trouble. 1 second here. Let's I'm just adding the inactives in here to our scrolly bar. All right, there we go. All right, what did I miss? Is Matt Moore top 10 for 3 weeks? No. Matt Moore's just a guy. He's a jag. I read where the front office is searching for a trade partner. I mean, with the amount of injuries at quarterback, that doesn't surprise me if Tampa Bay is not in the race. He just turns the ball over too much. You can't win when you turn the ball over that much. Singletary or Eckler? I'm probably going Eckler until I see how Buffalo utilizes Gore and Singletary together. Singletary got the majority of the work, but now he's coming back from injury. I just kind of want to know there. I know Eckler's going to be involved, and he might even be more involved with as inefficient as Melvin Gordon is. Singletary, White, or Hyde need ceiling. Then Hyde's out. I don't like Hyde's ceiling at all. Don't forget, last week Hyde saw more touches than he has in 4 years. against one of the worst rush defenses in the NFL. So take that ceiling 20-point game out. We're not getting that week to week. I probably go Singletary just because of Miami. Joe, that one was for you. How risky is starting Singletary against Miami? We have a lot of Singletary questions. Is this the last gasp for Mixon to save his season with Jax giving up lots of points to running backs? I don't think it's his last gasp. I mean, he has not had much of a shot. So we'll talk Mixon first. Cincinnati O-line is horrendous. Just horrendous. So I don't think it's really even up to Mixon to save his season. Like, considering how bad they are, he's actually hasn't played bad. So if that team can play a little bit better, then Mixon can play a little bit better. I do like him against Jacksonville, though. And then how risky is starting Singletary? I think it just depends on what your other options are. I don't know if they're going to just throw him back in and give him a full workload, or if they're going to, do a 60-40 for his first week back and just ease him back in, or what they're going to do. So I think it's risky, but yeah, I'm not sure that I'd go there if I have other options. Is AJ Green going to Green Bay? Man, I have no idea. I'm very interested this trade season. I think there are lots of landing spots for a lot of these guys. Multiple teams need quarterbacks. Multiple teams need running backs. Multiple teams need wide receivers. I just feel like there's a lot of options for people on the trade market this year, and that's going to make it very, very interesting. Not a problem, Jay. Not a problem. Don't forget, if you're on Twitch or YouTube, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Hit that like button on YouTube and help us out a little bit. And drop your questions in the chat. I try to get to every single one of them. If I miss them, don't hesitate to call me out, and I will get to it. Full point PPR. I have Anderson and Crowder in Monday night. Would you start one of them, or I have Corey Davis or Devontae Parker? Always just liked having a guy to play on Mondays. Josh, here's the deal. Devontae Parker's not in play for me. Buffalo's serious. So I'm not starting anybody versus Buffalo if I don't have to. Corey Davis has one of the worst cornerback matchups of the week with Casey Hayward. I would wait and see how Tannehill does before I started him. And damn it, man, there's a lot of matchups that I don't like. I probably still go Anderson and Crowder on Monday night. Thoughts on Anthony Miller against a bad slot defender? Everybody knows me. I'm a big Anthony Miller fan. But he also has a quarterback that hasn't played in a couple weeks and couldn't even hit him when he was in there and healthy. So, as much as I want to think this could be the week for breakout Anthony Miller in a good matchup, between play calling and quarterback play, I just don't know. Jay Ajayi should be owned? ? I'm not prioritizing Jay Ajayi. I think if he was going to be a difference maker, he would be owned. He would be signed already. Minshew or Darnold? I probably go Minshew this week. What do I do for work during the week? I own a digital marketing firm. So I do web development, graphic design, digital advertising, social media management, that type of stuff. Devontae Parker's Bigfoot. Maybe you see him, maybe you don't. Yeah, I don't disagree there. I think that even when he's got a good matchup, so when he's got a bad matchup like this week, I just don't even want a part of it at all. Okay. All right, let's look at these games, and we can go over a little game by game while I'm waiting on more questions to come in. Like I said, no matter where you're at, don't hesitate to throw in any start-sit questions, trade questions, DFS questions, whatever you got. Drop it in the chat. Nate, you know me, man. I've got a fridge full of bang at all times. I love that stuff. I can't drink that nasty, whatever, that Monster one that, or Coke one that came out, whoever it was made by, I don't know, that Rain or whatever it's called. Jeremy, I'm so mad, man. I didn't get in the Survivor this year. Yeah, the Java might be awesome, but the Rain energy drinks, the Bang ripoffs are not. Better money, DFS, Bovada, or poker? For me personally, poker has been the best money. I've had marginal success in DFS. Poker, I've had some good success. Sports betting, because I'm assuming that's what you mean on Bovada. I don't sports bet. I've dabbled a little bit this year now that it's legal in Indiana and I can do it on DraftKings, but very, very small there. But poker, by far the most success I've had. I won a tournament on Bovada playing poker. Yeah, I definitely do, Jeremy. I got to get back. Dak or Rodgers? One second here. I'm pulling up my Gridiron IQ. Could Cup be a sell this year? Everybody knows how much I love Cup, but his value is about at peak. But that doesn't mean that you have to sell this year. I think that, as long as him and Goff are linked up, there's going to be success there. So I don't see a massive drop-off. But if they switch QBs, then there's issues. But I don't see that happening with the contract Goff got. Okay, we had the question. Excuse me. Rodgers versus Oakland or Dak versus Philly. Okay. Rodgers has not been putting up a lot of fantasy points. This Eagles secondary is tough. I mean, is weak as shit. Their rush defense is tough. So I think they're going to have to do a lot of their damage through the air. I probably go with Dak over Rodgers this week. Oh, which is more poker for me. Poker's always most satisfying for me, especially when I'm playing live. If you sold Cup for Cooks, Devonta Freeman, and an early third, you lose. Oh, dude, I love playing at the Horseshoe. It's my favorite place to play cash games. Actually, a couple of my buddies are up there right now for the circuit events, the World Series Poker circuit events. Dried Ocean, how you doing? I just had a guy I know just won his second bracelet of the year. He won the Pot Limit Omaha 550 in Europe for a World Series of Poker bracelet. And he won the 10K Pot Limit Omaha back in June. So he's got 2 bracelets, his first 2 bracelets. He got them both this year. Joe Mixon or Tevin Coleman? Tevin Coleman's definitely the safer play. Looks like he's got that lead role locked down when he's healthy. A lot of people love Mike Breda, but he's just not going to get the amount of carries that he needs. And Coleman's getting the red zone looks. I like Coleman there. Mixon could have a better week just because he's got the talent. He can break one, but I traded Dak and Kamara for Bell and Thielen. I have Russell Wilson and picked up Kyler Murray. You think that was a good trade? If that's a 1 QB, then I think it's a great trade. If it's a 1 QB league, I think it's a great trade. Yeah, once back in the day, I was playing on Party Poker and Poker Stars at the same time, and I had quad jacks, got beat by a queen high straight flush, and I was on Poker Stars, and they didn't have a bad beat. Party Poker had a $180,000 bad beat, so that was a $90,000 whammy just for it happening on the wrong screen. How about Matt Ryan or Lame Jackson? Man. Matt Ryan or Jackson? I mean, Matt Ryan's like as safe as it comes. I probably go Matt Ryan. I don't mind Jackson either. Like I think they're neck and neck. Jackson's ceiling's probably a little higher because of that rushing floor, and then competitive games his rushing floor is huge. Paul, I want to picture it didn't happen. Like I hear people always saying this happened online, but nobody ever has any proof of it. I've played millions of hands, and I've never seen anything like that happen. I know it has happened before, but I've never seen it happen, and I've played millions of online poker hands. Nate'll tell you that's all I did when in our early 20s. That's how I made all my money. Pick 2, Bell, Carson, Devonta Freeman. Bell, Carson for me. I think they're all good options this week, though, but it's easily Bell and Carson for me. Are guys like Julio and A-Rob must starts even in not so good matchups? Julio is, because one, Julio can beat Ramsey. Also, Ramsey is, hasn't played in a few weeks. First week with a new team. If he was having back issues, those don't just go away. I'm assuming he didn't, since he's back and ready to go. But, Julio is. Also, like, Lattimore shuts down Mike Evans. Like, he has his number. He seems to get up for the super studs. So, maybe he does shut down A-Rob, but A-Rob is like a premium route runner. I think he can get some separation, and he's not making all, like, Mike Evans is making all his money deep. I don't think that A-Rob's getting shut out like that. Need a filler this week. Didi, Pettis, Lazard, Aguilar. We need to know about Green Bay, which we're going to find out here in about an hour. If those guys are out, Allison and MVS, then Lazard's number one. DD might be out, so we have to wait on him. And then Pettis. Pettis is getting more run, but do we think that San Francisco is going to have to pass a lot today? Is Pettis the one in line for the touchdown? Like, it's real tough. But, I mean, I don't like Aguilar either. So, basically, I think you got to hope that these guys sit for Green Bay and they give them a week of rest and you can play Lazard. And I'm there hoping with you. I have a couple leagues where I need them guys to sit so I can play Lazard. Lazard may end up having value either way because I think Rodgers likes him. Like, Rodgers has been talking this dude up since Monday night. See, I don't know. I'm not going to sit here and say that they are going to run all day because I feel like Shanahan might just want to put it to him. And if that's the case, then, you know, I've got Marquise Goodwin in my player pool. I like him to potentially get a deep one. I think all kinds of things. There's a lot of narratives in that game that I could map out that I could think were possible. Alshon Jeffrey or Robbie Anderson. For me, Anderson's the ultimate ceiling play because he could get shut out this week. I'd probably go Alshon. Actually, I do go Alshon. I have Alshon in one lineup right now and Robbie on the outside looking in. Robbie's matchup is not good this week. Let me pull up my wide receiver cornerback matchups. Any news on Kareem Hunt and how they may involve him? I haven't heard any news. I know that he is ahead of schedule on his sports hernia surgery. I don't have any news on how they're going to implement him, but I think they're going to... I think it's going to be a 60-40 split. I think he's going to be involved. I also think that with as well as Chubb's played... if teams come calling, it could be a really nice spot for Cleveland to flip him and make out pretty well in that deal. So, Kareem Hunt's too good of a talent to not get involved in that offense. They're going to get him involved for sure. Nick Chubb's really good too, though. Okay, so... Alshon Jeffrey against CJ Goodwin. Jeffrey's rated at a 62. Goodwin at a 47. One of the worst cornerbacks on the slate. So Jeffrey has a great matchup. Robbie Anderson, however, I'm guessing has one of the worst. Pettis has one of the worst too. Oh man, they're saying Darius Slayton's gonna have Patrick Peterson on him. I don't know about that. Robbie Anderson, Gilmore. Robbie Anderson at 66, Gilmore an 82. Gilmore is maybe the highest cornerback on this slate. Yes. Yeah, Alshon can definitely get it done. I think people still undervalue him when he's healthy. Higbee, Oliver, Kyle Red-Nosed Rudolph at tight end. Oh, man. Why you gotta ask me one of these? Like, it's like a trap question, Paul. It's like you're trying to get me to be wrong. I probably go Josh Oliver. Even though I don't like it at all. Wilson or Lamar Money Jackson. Why do you guys do this to yourself? Like, I'm over here like, do I start Andy Dalton or Ryan Fitzpatrick? In 1 QB leagues, there's no reason to have both of those guys. You just give yourself a headache every week. 50-50, flip a coin. Trade one of them to somebody that overvalues quarterbacks in 1 QB. That's what you do. That's how you make out in this scenario. See if we've got any new news. Mahomes feels good and believes that he is a week-to-week decision. Let's see. In that league that I'm making that decision, I lost Breeze, Mason Rudolph, who else did I have? I had Mariota, but he was my third option. He was my third starter this season. So between injuries, I know I had somebody else that got injured too that I dropped. But Breeze is the guy I'm waiting on getting back in that league. And I just traded for Andy Dalton just to fill in for this week. Yeah, I mean, this year's obviously, when we're talking about, quarterbacks, this year's obviously an outlier because a third of the quarterbacks have been replaced this year because of injury or lackluster play. Like, it's a really weird year. I was just talking about this last night with our boy Rob Sullivan. I really thought going into this year this was the deepest quarterback had ever been, and now we are at probably the most shallow that I've ever seen it, and it only took 5 weeks to get to that point. So it's kind of crazy. I don't want to agonize every week over am I starting this guy or that guy. I'm starting Russell Wilson every week, probably. I think Russell Wilson's the best quarterback, but Lamar Jackson does have a higher ceiling because of that rushing floor. So, I hate being in that situation because I always pick wrong when I'm picking between two guys. Does Miles Sanders get the backfield to himself next year, or will that always be a split backfield? I mean, my best guess is that he gets the majority of the work, but I don't know that Miles Sanders can be an every down 25-touch guy. Eckler, Singletary, or Jamal Williams. In standard, I need a running back 2. In standard, I'm probably going Singletary. I understand Williams had to blow up on Monday, but, I mean, that's like his only blow up in his career. This dude is normally not a big play guy. I loved seeing him come back. I'm a Bears fan, but I loved seeing him come back from that hit that he took and that concussion and playing well. But I just don't think that he's a guy that's going to give you that production on a week-to-week basis. So I'm not buying into it. Sorry, I'm just checking the Facebook group, seeing what we've got in there, answering any questions that we've got in the feed. I just saw somebody. All right. What else we got, people? A.J. Brown, Paul. A.J. Brown. He asked A.J. Brown or Duke Johnson. Until a team is smart and uses Duke Johnson correctly, I can't throw him in my lineup. He trolled me last week right off the bat, just get a touchdown. Looked like he's finally going to break out, and then poop from there. So I know we're talking football today, but how great is it that the St. Louis Cardinals and the New York Yankees lost? I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Here's a good one. Jamie says Singletary, Melvin Gordon, David Montgomery, or Latavius Murray. Okay. Non-PPR flex spot. Okay, so we're ruling out PPR. So it sounds crazy, but in that scenario, I might have to go with Latavius Murray against Chicago. Like, Melvin Gordon and his sub-3, I mean, I guess he's got touchdown upside. I'm taking out Montgomery and Singletary just because their usage is a big question mark. We know Melvin and Lat are going to get work, so it comes down to those two for me. We might go with Melvin Gordon just because of touchdown upside. But he might not even see as much work as Lat Murray. Bears haven't been as good against the run, and obviously Akeem Hicks is on IR, so that makes him a little more appealing. Melvin Gordon. New Jersey Devils even got a win on Thursday. I'm assuming that's hockey. I have no idea. Singletary or Mixon? Oh, Kevin Pons, you missed it. We were just talking about how the Cardinals got walloped and how great it is for the Nationals and the Astros to be facing off in the World Series. We were just talking about that. Singletary or Mixon? I'm going Mixon. I like Singletary. I just don't know how they're going to use him today. He's coming back from injury. Are you really going to put him in harm's way against Miami? I just don't know. Yeah, definitely some good pitching matchups. It's just always a good World Series when the Cardinals and Yankees aren't in it. And I would say sorry to all the fans out there of those teams, but I'm not. All right. We are about halfway through the show. I'm going to take a 5-minute break or so. I'm starting to lose my voice already. We've been active this morning, which is great. I love it. Makes it a lot easier on me when we're this active. Sorry, Kevin. No, I'm not. I'm not sorry. I mean, you would be giving me shit if we would have been friends when the Cubs got swept by the Mets in 15. You would have definitely given me a lot of shit. So let's not call me rude here, sir. But I will be right back. I am back. Back. Paul says, can someone explain how Diana Rossini is single and Aaron Andrews isn't? I don't have any explanation on women. If we think fantasy football is hard to figure out, women are even harder. Looks like we have 4 spots left in the RotoHeat.com $5 DFS league. Looks like everybody took a break with me. Let me check and see if we've got any more injury news. Don't see anything new yet. What questions we got out there, everybody? What questions do you have? Let me pull up something here. Two more subscribers. Need 2 more on YouTube. If you're watching on YouTube and have not subscribed, please, I only ask of you to hit that subscribe button, become a heat seeker, and get notified by hitting that notification bell every time we go live. We go live every Wednesday night, 9:30 p.m. Eastern. We might push that back because our West Coasters have been showing up right at the end of the stream every Wednesday. Then I go live personally every Sunday, 10 a.m. Eastern through noon, even a little bit later if we have a lot of action going on in the chat. So pregame Sundays, Wednesday we record our podcast on a live stream that releases on iTunes, Podbean, Spotify the next day. So if you want to watch that live and ask questions, we take questions early in the show and late in the show. Make sure you tune in on Wednesday nights. I have a few shirts in the shop on the website on RotoHeat.com as well. Not many shirts left. Okay, let's talk some some matchups that I like this week, right? Cornerback matchups, especially if you're playing DFS, this matters a lot. A lot of these guys you aren't going to be sitting in season long unless you just have really crazy matchups or really crazy wide receivers. But back on the DJ Shark train this week against BW Webb. BW Webb is possibly, let me look. I mean, he is the 4th worst cornerback on the slate. Great matchup. Cincy can't stop the pass. All 3 Rams receivers have cornerback matchups that are rated in the top 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That is crazy. They could all get a big piece of that pie today. Love the Rams receivers. John Brown. Xavier Howard's better, but is he even going to play? Miami seems to not want to risk it with him being as they're tanking, and they're just bad. So John Brown with a decent matchup today, and then if Xavier sits, it's even better. Let's see. What other ones do I really like here? T.Y. Hilton versus Jonathan Joseph. That looks like a good matchup. T.Y. is going to be chalky in DFS. I think his ownership has come down a little bit, but still a chalky option. Is this the Hopkins breakout week? That's the big question. Like, he's going to break out and have a huge week one of these weeks. He matches up with Rock Ya-Sin. Favorable matchup for DeAndre Hopkins, but Colts play that zone defense. They don't give a bunch of big plays. So is it a good spot for him to break out or not? That's the big question. Amari Cooper looks like he's going to play. He's got Ronald Darby, like that matchup. Keenan Allen versus Logan Ryan. Obviously, Keenan Allen, volume guy. Couple down weeks. Maybe a bounce back for him. Calvin Ridley. He's my favorite bring back play in that Rams stack. At 5,300 on DK. Matched up with Troy Hill. Favorable matchup for Ridley. They just spread the ball around so much, but it'd be nice if it got a little consolidated today. And that's possible if Ramsey plays well on Julio Jones. Christian Kirk's out. Let's see who else we like here. I'm interested in this Golden Tate matchup with Arizona. He's matched up with Tremaine Brock. Interested to see how that plays out. If we want to get a little sneakier, one of them that I'm curious to see again how it plays out. Where's it at? Because it says that it's not a good matchup, but Ted Ginn, the number 2 wide receiver against the Bears, is just like a Bears leak like a sieve to them. So I'm interested in Ted Ginn with all those guys out. I mean, look, Kamara's out, Traquan Smith's out, Jared Cook is out. Interested in that. Anthony Miller versus C.J. Gardner-Johnson on the flip side. That's about it. Where'd everybody go? Got about 20 minutes here, and then we'll know some inactives, and that'll help us a lot get some clarity. Do. How you doing out there? Drop your start sig questions, trade questions, whatever you got. I'm just looking at some matchups here and looking at, trying to stay up on any of the injury news so I can pass that along as soon as we get any more inactives or active announcements. I want to make sure to get that over to you. So please don't hesitate. Drop any of your questions in the chat, and I will answer those. And I am looking at some other interesting stuff to pass along as well. We were real hot, man. Everybody got in early. We're asking their questions. It was like a firing range there for a while, and it's quieted down a little bit, but I think everybody's waiting here. We got about 20 minutes until that news is due, and then we'll have a better idea of what value is open for DFS. Some of these, Lazard King questions we'll know here relatively soon. So, keep your questions coming. I will get those answered. Paul says an odd one. Would you be up for going to the Indy 500 since the whole Bear Packer thing didn't work? Nate said he would be interested. One, when is it? I don't even know. I don't know when is it. Yeah, I could be interested if it's late May. Wait. Yeah, it would depend because I might spend late May to early July in Vegas next year. So it would just depend on when that is and when I leave for Vegas. The World Series of Poker starts the end of May. So the dates would just have to work out right. Yeah, the World Series of Poker. The events start the end of May with their big 550. It's one of the first events. It starts at the end of May, and then they have events that run all the way through June, and then the main event is in the beginning of July. So it's been a couple years since I've went out, but I like to go out for basically that whole month of June when all the events are going on. I put a package together and sell some action so people can get a sweat. So I have some buddies. I actually just went Friday night. I went to their going away party there, moving out there. And one of my buddies was like, when are you coming out for a month? So if everything goes right, next summer I'll be out there for a month or so. Get some tournament plays in. If you're over on YouTube, please do me a favor. Hit that like button. Jason. I love Green Bay's D this week. They're getting a lot of pressure. If I pull up my lineup HQ here. Oakland's line has been better than anticipated, but I mean, I don't know that they're gonna stop the pressure Green Bay. That's what it takes to score fantasy points. So if we think Green Bay is going to be in the lead, the Raiders are going to have to throw more. That leads to fantasy production. So I definitely, Green Bay is one of the better plays this week, in my opinion. Yep. Basically, Paul's a Green Bay fan. He's pretty much saying what I would say there. Green Bay's defense is much improved. Now, they're going to give up rushing yards, but the thing is if Oakland gets behind, then it's all bets are off. So I hope Oakland wins and it doesn't play out that way. But, Green Bay at home's tough. Drop those questions in. I'm ready for them. $10 minutes here, and we'll have some inactives. That's what we're looking for. That's what I keep checking for, making sure we're up to date on the news. Checking NFL Twitter for news. I mean, I do like mixing for GPP. My initial exposure was a little heavier than it is now. I'm liking Freeman a little bit more for 400 more. I also want to have a little bit of Jacobs at the same price. Those guys, Jacobs and Mixon, aren't getting the ownership that Freeman is. So I do like both of them. So I've kind of split my exposure in that area to those two. And I honestly, there's so much value at wide receiver in that mid-tier that it's hard not to pay up for running backs this week. I like a lot of the mid-tier wide receivers. So that's been one of the hard things for me, figuring out how much exposure I want to have to lower priced running backs. I mean, Cooper Kupp is like one of the only high price guys that I like. Do I really not have any of that? Okay, I haven't seen any new news. We'll keep that ready to go. We only got about 10 minutes here, and then that news, we should know our inactives. They should trickle in around 11:30 Eastern here. I got to get my lineups ready. I'm getting nervous. This is the first Sunday that I've done 150 lineups, so I'm a little nervous here. Hoping that an hour after this show gives me enough time to get everything situated. Normally I do a cash lineup and 20 GPP lineups. This week I decided to just go full bore, 150 GPP lineups. Nothing else except for my league stuff. We got them start sit questions, fellas. Kevin Pons got mad that I was making fun of the Cardinals, so he left. While my Cubs are at home trying to figure out who their manager is going to be. How do I feel about Goff, Latmurray, Cook, A.J. Brown, Kupp, D-Hop, Ingram, Mixon, Chargers? Now, what is your contest? Because that matters. I don't see any correlation in that lineup, right? If we're talking GPP, then we need some correlation in there. If we are talking cash lineup, then I want higher priced running backs. I don't want Mixon in a cash lineup. I don't want A.J. Brown in a cash lineup. So it depends on that. I see the Goff Cup. If that's a GPP, I want to bring that back. I probably want to double it up. I probably want to play Kupp and Woods or Cooks, and then bring it back with one of the Falcons, and that could be Freeman. It could be any of the Falcons, really. How much money did I make in my 20s playing? I mean, I don't know. Dude, I spent it so fast in my 20s, in my early 20s. I was playing professionally online when I was like 20. I started playing poker when I was 19. And I played a lot of heads up, is where I made most of my money. I didn't play a bunch of big tournaments. Um, but between that, live, and dealing, I mean, I had a couple years in my early 20s where I made six figures. Um, but oh God, I spent it so fast. I ain't gonna lie, strip clubs and nights out. I mean, we used to get limos for no reason at all. They just pick us up at restaurants, and we did all kinds of dumb stuff. So I blew plenty of money in my 20s. My most successful year recently was 2014. I finished top 15 in a WSOP event. Cash for 17K there. And then I won my main event seat for $550. So that was another $10,000 cash. And then I won I think there was 1,300 people in it or something. I can't remember. But on Bovada, I won a tournament for 9,800. So that year I did I think I profited like 55K playing just marginal amount of poker. I can tell you that right now, like I'm not up with it. I'm not hip with a lot of the new terminology and strategies, and I just don't play enough anymore. I don't study like I used to. It's changed a lot. It's a lot harder than it used to be. Excuse me. And I've always been more of a tournament guy. I've never made a bunch of money playing cash. When I played the heads up, I played 4-man heads up, and I would play like 100 to 200 a day, which you can't even do anymore. They don't feel like they used to. Well, actually, I mean, obviously I can't play on Poker Stars, so I don't know how they feel on there. But I loved those. Let's see. Give us those inactives. I'm just checking my lineups here. I think from now on, I'm just going to stick to making one lineup, even if I play in a high dollar thing, because this is driving me nuts a little bit. All right, come on, come on, come on. These people go freaking diving with sharks, and it's crazy. No, thank you. You guys get quiet, it makes it hard on me. I don't plan anything out for Sundays. I'm normally just planning on answering questions. Twitter. Mr. Adam Shifter. Okay. Marquez Valdes-Scantling and Geronimo Allison are both active. So they went from looking like they were going to be out to they're both in. That means the Lazard train has officially hit the rails. That's the only news that I've got. Green Bay Packers will have MVS and Geronimo Allison today. Jason, I don't know about craps. I've played with my buddies a couple times, but they know what's going on. I do not. I do not know the best place to get advice for craps. Paul, I drink the cotton candy every Sunday morning just for you, buddy. Okay, official. David Johnson, active. Allison Valdes-Scantling, active. Christian Kirk, inactive. Singletary, Westbrook, Raheem Mostert, all active. Josh Norman, inactive. Uh-oh. That makes me like Marquise Goodwin a little bit more because they were already getting beat deep. Trent Brown, inactive. So we lost some value for DFS. Lazard is now, hopefully, you know what? I'm still going to play a little bit of him because he's probably still going to be outside with MVS on one side, him on the other side. And if Rodgers likes him, we could get, low ownership on him now. And that puts us in a better spot. Nice little leverage play there. I am so surprised Geronimo Allison is playing. That is crazy to me. That dude almost died last week. And I guess we have a little upside. He could get knocked out. Not that we're wishing that on him. I don't wish that on anybody, but we were hoping that they would just sit and we would get all that value. I am very surprised. It went from looking like all those receivers were going to be out for Green Bay to them being, all of them being in. A little crazy. We knew that one. Okay, we got to double check this stuff here now. Bryce, what's going on? Bless me. Adams is out, but MVS and Allison are both playing. Now I'm trying to figure out what I think Lazard's ownership's going to be in DFS, and have to add Allison and MVS to my player pool, I guess. Yeah, but Rodgers likes them, but with all of them out there, it just spreads it around a lot. I'm going to have Lazard. Kumro's like the most overrated thing ever. Like, no. I will not have Kumro. Jamal Williams tilts me also. The dude is not very, he's just not very dynamic. Aaron Jones is much more dynamic, but, when you fumble and then drop a clear touchdown, you get in the doghouse. Now, I don't think he's stuck there forever. I think people are overreacting to that like they overreacted to Chris Carson the first couple weeks. Everybody was out on him, but the dude's had 22 or more carries the last 3 games. Like, just overreactions. Well, it has gotten real quiet real quick in here. Metcalf or Dorsett? Are the Colts not favored now? Oh my gosh, Jacoby. No, Dorsett. Really? See, I'm seeing Colts 24, Houston 22.5. It's close either way, but I like the Colts at home. Jason, I think I think I go Metcalf. That's a tough one, though. I can't get this optimizer to quit forcing the Colts into my lineup. Like, Colts defense. It's got them in about a third of my lineups. DJ Shark, do. It's forcing Josh Hill into my lineups too. I don't like it. Did I miss something? I mean, our other... Like, why is Andy Isabella getting forced into my lineups right now? It makes no sense. Any questions? If not, I'm going to get off of this stream and get my lineups put together. If you want to see those, how they play out, you can join our Discord chat. Oh, yes, I am here. How you doing, buddy? You're fine, man. I'm here until noon if we have action going. If not, I'll get on my lineups. But pick one: Jordan Howard or Eckler. I'm going Eckler. Make sure to add a little more context. Is this standard PPR, half PPR? What are we talking here? I'm pretty good, man. I'm pretty good. Excited to get this Sunday going. Hopefully it is a better one than the previous couple. Standard, I'm probably going Jordan Howard. Eckler's getting all the work in the passing game. And Gordon's getting all the work in the running game, so I'm probably going Jordan Howard there. No, you're all good, man. Okay, have we missed anybody? Have we missed any inactives? Eckler, Hunter Henry, or Golden Tate? Man, that's a tough one. I will say that I'm going Henry and Tate first, probably. And since we're talking standard, I'm probably going Hunter Henry over Golden Tate. No, I actually don't mind. I like Hunter Henry a lot this week. Your team must be pretty good if you're really worried about these guys. Golden Tate's just more of a PPR guy for me. He obviously had that one big play last week that made up for it. That one play was worth more than any other himself. It was over half of his points, and then it was worth more than any other fantasy player in that game. Drop them questions. We are about 15 minutes from the end of the chat. Whatever questions you got. I have Chubb and Curtis Samuel on bye, then Josh Gordon and AJ Green hurt. Yeah, I have some really dirty injuries. Joe, look at my defensive players in PMFFL. I have to make sure to go back and look. I don't even know that I'm going to be able to start enough linebackers this week because of injuries. I had two of my 4 guys were doubtful last night. It's crazy. Aaron Jones or Mark Ingram, full PPR. Man. I think I go back to Aaron Jones. I like Tyler Boyd and Brandon Cooks a lot this week. I think Brandon Cooks is one of the best plays at wide receiver this week for sure. Boyd hurts you a little bit just because there's not much touchdown upside, and he's more PPR stud than standard, though. I'm pulling up my... Joe, are you still in here? It's my lineman. I don't know if I'll have enough to start. It's gross. No problem, man. That's what I'm here for. If you got questions, I'll do my best. Remember, if you're on YouTube or Twitch, please hit that subscribe button. If you're over on YouTube, also hit the like button and the notification bell. Make sure you get notified every time that we go live. Right now, we go live every Wednesday night at 9:30 p.m. Eastern. That may push back a little bit to work with our West Coasters. And then Sunday mornings from 10 a.m. till about noon Eastern, I am live pregame talking DFS, start sits, inactives, injury news, trying to get everybody ready for their lineups for that day. You can also visit us on RotoHeat.com. You can join our Discord chat where we have all sports in there, and we have all formats: redraft, dynasty, DFS, sports betting. I'm making sure I didn't miss any news there. All you got to do is go to rotoheat.com/Discord, and that will get you into the Discord chat. You can find us on Facebook. Just search RotoHeat. We've got Dynasty group, we've got a redraft group, we've got DFS group, so whatever you're looking for there, and then just rotoheat.com, look at articles we come out with during the week. I try to get some DFS stuff in there, We've got a lot of Dynasty content, redraft content, so make sure to check that out. Also, on the website, when you're on RotoHeat.com, if you look in the bottom left corner of your screen, there's a little bell there. If you hit that, you can get notified every time we drop a new article. This league is PPR. Pick 2 wide receivers and 1 flex. Galladay, Boyd, Keenan Allen, DJ Chark, Miles Sanders, and Darren Waller. I am playing Keenan Allen for sure. Oh, man. Your wide receivers are pretty tough, too. Keenan Allen for sure. Yeah, I'm playing him every week. I don't care what anybody says. PPR. Probably go on Keenan Allen, Galladay, and then I'm trying to decide if you need upside, I go DJ Chark. If you need a floor, I go with Tyler Boyd. Miles Sanders and Darren Waller are on the outside looking in. Todd Gurley is active. Dak or Brissett? I'm going Dak. Don't love it, but I'm going Dak. Joe, did you look at my lineup over there in that league? I was just curious, Joe. You don't even have to. I just think it's funny because I'm probably going to be without 2 starters, just 2 open spots this week. That's the one rule I hate about that league is that we can only pick up 1 person a week. Is Dunlap out? I mean, it still shows me over here that Jefferson's questionable. Dunlap doubtful. Melvin Ingram's the one that scares me. I haven't even looked at the score in that league, so. But I mean, I might be without. If Mosley sits, I don't have a linebacker either. In standard leagues, I feel sad to say that my best player is a defense. That'll happen sometimes. All right, my fellow Heat Seekers, I think that is going to be the end of this show. I appreciate everybody stopping by, asking questions, and hopefully I'll have a co-host next week. That would make it a lot easier on me. Don't lose my voice. If you have any last second questions. Oh, Jamie says Beasley, Allison, or Westbrook, or Slayton, or Sanu. Here's 5 guys. Pick one, Rick. I'm probably going with Westbrook. Westbrook or Allison, and it's almost a flip a coin for me. Yes, good luck, everybody. If you're playing redraft or DFS or whatever season long, I hope you win. If you win your matchups, if you are in DFS, I hope somebody here takes down a big one today. That would be great. Andy Pearson coming in last second, right at closing statements. Been around all morning, Andy. Why are you showing up at the end? Mixon or Singletary? I'm probably playing Mixon just because we know he's going to be involved. I don't know what Singletary's. I don't know. It's a big question mark for me, so I'm not going to put a lot of stock into Singletary until I see how much they use him. I don't know if they risk re-injuring him by overusing him against Miami. But I would rather miss a good week than play him and him not get a lot of action, so I will wait and see. All right. That is going to be it. Again, I appreciate everybody for stopping by. I appreciate the questions. Always helps. The more questions we get. If you're over on YouTube, please hit that like, subscribe, and notification bell. If you're on Twitch, please subscribe. If you're already in Facebook, you're here. You'll get notified when I go live. Again, thank you guys. Check out RotoHeat.com, and we will talk to you Wednesday night. Don't forget, make sure you hit the subscribe button and notification bell so you don't miss any more fantasy football content from the RotoHeat.com team. Also, right there, playlist. Hit it. Watch the videos. Do it. You want to. Do it.